Clockwork City. For this build I run 5 Shackle Breaker. I have this on both bars. I have a medium piece and a heavy piece to give me 5 on 1. I have 1 Damahas. I use this because I get a really good 1 piece bonus from it, the 1000 stamina Magicka. It's really useful. I have 4 piece Lich on the main bar, and I have 5 piece on the back bar with the Resto Staff. The reason I do it like this is I am still able to use the 1 piece up here, and then I can still proc it on the back bar, like no difference honestly. And it also allows me to use the Master's Inferno on the front bar. I like this because it increases the damage of my Destructive Touch by 2000, which actually puts it above Crushing Shock for instant damage, and it makes it really cheap too, about 10% cheaper than Crushing Shock. For my jewelry, I'm running Lich. I have 2 spell damage and 1 cost reduction. I chose cost reduction because with the changes to CP, it's just a really nice enchantment over recovery, especially with the amount of recovery that I'm running. I will see a much bigger return from the reduction enchantment. For skills on my front bar, I am running either Crushing Shock or Flame Reach. Now if you look at Crushing Shock, the base damage is just under 9,000, but when I put this on with the Master Staff, this is also just under 9,000, and it has a dot. It's a little cheaper, and it comes with the CC. Typically this is what I'll run open world, and I like this a little bit better than the Asylum Staff, at least in most situations, just because it's usually to kill someone if I'm going to be comboing them. Because instead of having to go Rune Cage and then do something, or 2 Crushing Shocks and then Rune Cage with my combo, I can just literally Flame Reach them, and it's 3 abilities in 1 for a lot of those people open world that just really don't need all that extra damage. For my ultimate on my front bar, I typically run Shooting Star. Dawnbreaker's a good ultimate too for this spot, but I like Shooting Star because a lot of people in Cyrodiil are vampires. This scales better with the CP that I'm using. I like the ultimate that I get, not only when I hit people, but I feel like it's more often the killing blow than something like Dawnbreaker, so I actually usually get more ultimate from it in general. I just think it's a stronger ultimate, typically. I really like Curse. I think really any builds that you're running without Curse is kind of just completely hindered by not having it. It's one of the best abilities in the game. It's not rollable, you can't block it, you can only purge it, and not every class runs a purge open world. I won't always let it run out all the way to 12 seconds. Sometimes I'll reapply it right after 3.5 seconds to keep pressure, so keep that in mind. You don't always want to let it run all the way to the second tick, because it does hit really hard, and it is something that you can easily add on to the rest of your combo. I really like Endless Fury because even though it only works at 20%, you can put it on them before they get to 20%, and that alone is just absolutely massive. It makes this an extremely useful ability. The combo, then you can put the rest of your combo on them pretty effortlessly, especially if you're using Rune Cage. When I'm not using Rune Cage, I use Power Search, and I really like this ability, you know, obviously for major sorcery, but I like the heal that I get from it. I think it's a really good heal. I like that it lasts such a long time. I'm not a huge fan of Entropy. Entropy is a good ability, but I'm just not as much of a fan of Entropy as I am of Power Surge. But moving on to the back bar, I am running the Resto ult. I really like Resto ult when I'm open world. It's a really cheap ultimate that gets out of all shit situations, or I'm out of resources, or really any kind of situation like that. It's really similar to Trees on Warden, in that it really just gets you out of the shit when you need it. You can actually even let your shields drop for a second when this is up. It can even be used offensively if you want to let your shields drop and you want to take advantage of the critical damage increase and go in on someone. That is a big increase in your damage, and it will counteract their impen a lot. Streak is honestly mandatory. I haven't seen many builds, open world at least, without Streak that were like completely successful. In a duel, you could totally take it off. And there are ways to run this build without Streak in duels, but because I'm strictly going over open world right now, I'm not going to go over that. I use Hardened Word. I don't like the other morph for this ability, even though it lasts longer, and I know it's got some sustained benefits. Just it being 33% stronger is, I can't pass up on that. It's too good. I run Healing Word for obvious. You can use Dampen if you want. I prefer Harness, simply because I think it's got a lot of sustain tied to it. I think when you're fighting something like a Magicka DK, it's really useful, but when you're fighting someone that's stamina based, you would have been better off with Dampen. So it's completely up to opinion, you know. Honestly, it's gonna matter who you're fighting and how you're fighting them. I run Mines. Mines is optional. You don't really need Mines. You could actually put on Dark Conversion. You could put on Rune Cage. You could put Boundless Storm even. There's a whole lot of abilities you could put here. I prefer Mines because I just really like the root. I like the instant damage. I like having that defensive component to Mines when I'm fighting like a stand build or something that I want to kite around them, or a Magicka DK. Keeps me out of the roots. They're burning embers and shit. It's really nice. But that's basically what I'm running ability wise. At least for that setup. Sometimes I'll put on the Asylum staff. That's totally a viable way to run this too. And for that I would just switch this off. And what's nice about this is it actually has a neat little thing on it. At least with the perfected one it's nice because it procs Burning, which is a very strong GOT, Concussion, which can be minor vulnerability, which is 8% damage, and Chilled, which also puts minor maim on them, so like Wizard's Frost, kind of. I have infused on this one. Now a Nirn is also a good option too, like I had on my Master's Inferno, but I leave this one infused because I also use it for PvE. So clearly, you know, that's not entirely motivated by PvP, but it's still very strong as infused. This hits extremely hard. But that's basically what I'm running for skills and gear for Munduses. I will typically run the Mage. I like the Mage because I'll actually even show you guys right now. My Hardened Word is at 17,936, right? Let's see, so that's the Mage. Let's switch to the Warrior. Not because I actually want to use it, but just to give you guys an idea. So I lose an entire 1,000 on my main shield, and all of these go down too, right? And when I put this back on, it's just a really significant chunk to these, as you can see. That'll make a huge difference in a fight. It is a little bit more sustained because your pool will be a little bit larger, and then you of course get the damage. It's roughly about 200 spell damage, which is also really nice. Other options are the Lover and the Serpent, even the Apprentice are all good options, but I would say the top two would be either the Serpent or the Mage. And for food, I like to run Clockwork. If you can't afford Clockwork, Witch Mothers is almost identical. As you can see here, it's really just a slightly better version over Witch Mothers. It's not like a massive difference. You're not gonna really run into many situations where you would have actually lost the fight if you had Witch Mothers on, or vice versa, right? But that's basically what I'm running, and I'm just gonna show you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? Revolutionary, although I'm free. I got me a lover, but I still wanna cheat. Wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. Don't wanna be here, but I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? I got a whole lot of mixed messages in my songs. Am I wrong to feel this way? Revolutionary, although I'm free. I got me a lover, but I still wanna cheat. Wanna be saved, but it's fuck the police. Don't wanna be here, but I'm too scared to leave. So I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of, I'm too scared to leave. I got a whole lot of mixed messages. I'm too scared to leave. Yeah. I love her and I hate her at the same time. I'm whack and I'm dope in the same rhyme. I'm dull but I'm gloss in the same shine. It's confusing on a sunny day. I never really liked all the fake shit, but I'm attracted to the fake ass and fake tits. That's why I made a song like Original to remind me of what fake is. I wanna be rich, but I'm giving back. I love her like none other, but don't get attached. Screaming peace over beats, but I grab the strap. I help you make a meal, but I got a cap. It's still fuck you, but I give you dap. I really wanna sing, but I better rap. God on my line after all, but I ain't pick up when he called. Matter of fact, I ain't pick up at all, cause my bills paid now.
And that's basically how it works, and that's what I'm running. I'll actually leave CP in the comments, so if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be free to answer. Thanks for watching, guys.